Hey everyone, this is going to be one in a long series of unboxing videos. Mainly the reason for this is this week has been crazy with the number of packages that I've received, and I haven't even had a chance to unbox them yet. Some of them I was waiting to do a video, but at some point it just began to pile up, and I knew I probably wanted to do it, but I even didn't have time just to sit down and open up these packages. So I'm going to get right into it. I'll probably end up with roughly 4 of these videos in various forms. But I'm going to start with this one because I've been really looking forward to it. I've been looking forward to it for a very long time. It is a ginormous box. But it's not that big in terms of overall dimensions besides the length. So you might be wondering what's in it, and it's something I've been wanting to have for a really long time. I'll give you a hint. The hint is Toshiro Mifune. That might help you out. Might not if you don't know Japanese films. Alright, quickly open all the points this is taped on. And this is definitely an item that I've been wanting to have for a very long time. Oh my goodness, that tape doesn't want to go. And it's one of those things where I couldn't find one that really met my criteria at a price that I was willing to pay. Because I am not a practitioner of Japanese martial arts, and while I like Japanese style swords, they are not always the type of thing that I collect. This is one of those cases where I wasn't really willing to pay for the very, very high-end version of this, at least not yet. Maybe sometime in the future, but right now I just wanted to add to my collection in a reasonable price. Alright, so in the box is this fancy box. I'm just going to throw that over there. I have amassed quite a large collection of cardboard boxes behind me. So here it is. This is the case for the wonderful object. I'm going to open it towards the camera. Maybe you can see this as I open it up. Oh dear, it's in, of course, a cloth bag. Usually couldn't expect that. So I will note this particular brand is Musha. Alright, this actually says the Musha line was created to cater the need of the budget-minded collector and real practitioners who do not wish to abuse their high-end swords in practicing every day, but won't settle on quality. Forged with the same spirit as the Musashi line, so it's Musashi brand. The Musha swords, misspelled, SWRDS, I forgot the O, are made using 1045 carbon steel. For quality, practicality, and value, Musha is hard to beat. So it's Musashi brand. It's kind of their munitions grade style sword. They send me this nice little blade maintenance instructions. If you don't know how to do sword care for Japanese swords, well, there you are. And it even comes with this nice little spot as well as kind of shrink-wrapped sword care kit, which will have the powder balls and the small hammer and the oils and the cloves and all that. But what really matters is what's inside this wrapping. Most people are probably actually beginning to figure out what this is at this point. I have no idea what the overall quality of it's going to be. Musashi is known for, lower quality but still halfway decent. And here it is in its black saya. If I'm even saying that right, if I'm even referring to the right thing. Very long blade and much shorter handle. So this is an odaichi. And the blade is shrink wrapped. So let's get that off. And I will describe my reasoning behind getting an odaichi in a moment. And explain the reasoning behind my hint as to what this sword was when I was unboxing it. Oh dear. Lots of oil on this blade, so that'll need to be cleaned at some point. Properly cleaned. Tons of oil on this. But this is the absolutely massive odaichi. And I liked it. I picked this one for a couple of reasons. One is it has a very, very simple tsuba here. But the main reason I picked this particular sword online as kind of my budget odaichi is because of the length of the handle. what I've done in doing kind of my research on what the options were out there to buy inexpensively is there's basically two types of Odaichi swords, and I'm saying Odaichi and not no Daichi, because this, I believe, in my opinion, and I'm sure somebody out there who's a true expert will actually correct me on this. This is not really a Nodaichi, because Nodaichi is a field sword, and that actually, from my understanding and my little bit of research, suggests that the handle would actually be much longer and the blade a good bit shorter. So Odaichi basically just means really large sword in Japanese, and in the movie Seven Samurai, directed by Akira Kurosawa, there is a wonderful character played by Toshiro Mifune, and he carries around a very large Odaichi. And I did some kind of screen grabbing and did some research, and his his handle to blade length ratio was basically 1 to 3. So the length of the handle multiplied is actually 3.2 times was the length of the blade. And if you look at a lot of the Nodaichis out there that are very common, you get these really long handles. They're almost 1 to 2 ratio. So a very long handle doubled, and then it's the blade. And what that really means is that the handle would come out to here, and then the rest would be the blade. So I really wanted one that was closer to the proportions of the one that was in Seven Samurai, because I'm a huge fan of that film, and I'm a huge fan of that character. And while certainly the fittings, the tuba, are not exactly the same as the one in the movie, it's at least simple, which is what I kind of wanted, a very simple sword. The character he plays is, like many of the samurai, is a poor samurai, almost a ronin, right? One without a master. And he is only really able to carry around his giant Odaichi, but it's a poor man's Odaichi in some ways when you look at it in the film. And he is my favorite character in that film, and I wanted to have something that I could add to my collection that reminded me of that, as well as I wanted a really, really big Japanese sword. So I've said all this, and I'm sure I've gotten tons of pronunciations wrong, and somebody who is a huge fan of Japanese swords and culture a lot bigger than I am will certainly correct me in everything that I've said that is wrong. That's cool. I freely admit that I do not know enough. The quality on this, on initial, just kind of holding, feels kind of weird in the hand because it's so big. It's very blade heavy. Not really surprised by that. But overall, halfway decent quality. It looks like fake ray skin. It's, the wrapping is just kind of a synthetic cloth. No, not really silk or anything. Everything's synthetic. The saya, the scabbard, is nothing really special. But at the end of the day, and I'm not going to put this in the scabbard because it's got all this oil on it, but at the end of the day, this is just something I wanted to add to my collection. I wanted to have a really awesome large sword, and I wanted to have something that in my collection that reminded me of one of my all-time favorite films, The Seven Samurai. And so this is it. This is going to be at least it until one day maybe I'll buy a much, much nicer version that would be tremendously expensive, I'm sure. Because of what it takes to make these kind of swords properly, it's ridiculous. So, yeah, this is my new Odaichi. Thanks. See you later.